Welcome home. A little ray of light raced through the chilly January morning, shivering as it touched the ground. It had run ahead of its big, bright mom, the sun, on their morning walk before she could warm the world. Cold and curious, the little ray spotted a glowing house with a tiny gap in the curtains. Without thinking, it wiggled through, squeezing inside. The warmth made it tingle with excitement. This was a playground worth exploring. Being so tiny, it could only glow within its own little circle, lighting just enough space to see where it landed. Curious and playful, the baby sunshine bounced onto the first thing it saw, a crown gleaming atop a portrait hanging on the wall. The golden glow shimmered under its tiny touch, making the crown sparkle. But before it could explore further, the little sunshine hopped to another portrait, landing on a swirl of bright colors. The colors in this portrait were different, vibrant and full of life, like the fabric of a beautiful dress. The little sunshine wobbled forward, landing on something unexpected, a pair of reading glasses resting on a tall wooden side table. The moment it touched the glass, a sudden sparkle burst forth, sending the tiny light bouncing backward in surprise. The glasses, of course, belonged to Grand Genius, who had visited Lucky just days after her arrival. He had left them there after giving Lucky her very first welcome lecture, a speech so warm and wise, it made her feel as if she'd been part of the family for 100 years. Who knows, maybe the reading glasses were left there on purpose, to spark a two-firefly effect with a single touch from this little baby ray. Now dizzy from its tumble, the little sunshine lost its footing. It rolled off the table, whoosh, spinning, flipping, and plop, right onto Lucky's pink nose. Soft and warm, Lucky's nose made the perfect landing spot, as if a fluffy cloud had caught a falling star. Mio's sleepy eyes cracked open just enough to notice the little sunshine bouncing on Lucky's nose. She blinked once, then twice, realizing what this meant. Morning?
Absolutely not.
With a determined little huff, she dove under her blanket, a thick knitted masterpiece of colorful yarn, stitched with warmth and love. And then, achoo! Lucky's sudden sneeze sent the curtains flying open, allowing the full morning sunlight to flood the room. The baby sunshine had done its job. The sun had arrived, chasing after her little sunshine. In contrast, Mio, still wrapped like a burrito in her colorful blanket. Lucky's warm morning breath filled the room, her barely open eyes throwing a sleepy glare at the little sunshine, now happily reunited with its mom, the sun.
Not fair!
Mio whispered. The fireplace stood quiet and cool, its embers safely dimmed for the night. But Mio wasn't in the mood to appreciate safety when her paws felt chilly. Maybe she needed an invisible excuse, someone to blame, because the truth was, her sweet dream had been disturbed. Lucky's gentle smile made Mio wrap herself even tighter in her blanket. And then, glug, drip, drip, gurgle. The coffee maker sang its silly morning tune as fresh coffee bubbled into Dad's to-go cup. The scent curled through the house, wrapping around the morning like a friendly hug. And just like that, two undeniable realities nudged Mio out of her protest. 1. Coffee was ready, meaning the new day had officially begun. 2. She had a sister to share it with. Despite the morning marching on, Mio still wore her blanket like a cape as she strutted through the living room. With dramatic steps, the long, colorful fabric swept behind her, like a tiny ruler in royal robes. Zing, zing. It is January 25th, 12 p.m. It is food time. Alexa's voice chimed through the house.
Welcome home, Alexa.
Plink, plink, 2 cat plates slid into place. The chef, or so Mio and Lucky called it, was none other than their sophisticated cat feeder. An advanced piece of modern-day magic, their private chef, entrusted with the grand responsibility of serving their meals.
Welcome home, Chef.
Lucky, ever the picture of elegance, glided to her plate, napkin neatly tucked, paws poised as if holding an imaginary fork and knife. But something wasn't right. Someone was missing. Mio. With a soft sigh, Lucky set down the napkin. She placed the imaginary fork and knife back beside the plate. Finding Mio came first. Lucky would definitely check a few familiar spots. The windowsill, Dad's bed, the top of the bookshelf, inside the dryer, or maybe even the refrigerator. But this time, she didn't have to look far. In the living room, Lucky spotted her. Still wrapped in her blanket, Mio sat in front of the large portrait on the wall. Fashion designer Grandma within the colors, painted by Mio. A beautiful image. Her human grandma seated beside a sewing machine, surrounded by vibrant fabrics and stacks of colorful knitting yarn. Lucky sat next to Mio in silence. She knew that if Mio wanted to share the reason behind her protest, she would. Did she miss her grandma? Or was it something else? Something Mio couldn't quite name. Her gaze drifted between the portrait and Lucky, eyes full of quiet thoughts. Yes, Mio missed her grandma. For now, she wrapped herself in the blanket, Grandma's gift, and dreamed of the day she'd ask Grandma to knit 6 more. Until then, winter would pass warmly because her sister was beside her. Lucky's warm presence was a comfort on days like this. Elegant, patient, steady. For all her adoration of her big sister, Mio sometimes found herself asking, strictly within the confines of her own mind, as a playmate? On days when Lucky's playful participation was, shall we say, suboptimal. Like during a game of tag, when Lucky refused to climb the bookshelf after her. Or during hide and seek, when Lucky's logic didn't stretch far enough to check the refrigerator or the dryer. Despite those little mismatches, Mio had decided Lucky was the best sister ever. However, all the questions Mio had were already taking root in her quick mind. The rest was simply to wait for firefly season. Therefore, as the days slipped by, the sun chased after her little sunshine, day after day, night after night. Zing, zing. It is February 28th, 12 p.m. It is food time, Alexa's voice echoed through the house. Mio and Lucky were already seated at their plates, everything seemingly normal. But Mio's gaze lingered, not on the food, not on Lucky, but toward the backyard. Toward the big tree with its dry branches, standing tall outside the window. The ancient tree, Mio's old friend, smiled at her, opening its dry branches wide. The big tree stretched toward the sky, watching day and night trade places. First, it smiled at the warm sun. Then it glanced kindly at the quiet half-moon. Finally, it grinned at the twinkling stars before morning brightened the sky. And with that, something stirred. Tiny green buds peeked from its branches, the first whispers of spring. The big tree chuckled softly in the breeze. Now it held colorful gifts, new pink blossoms, and the baby green shade of newborn leaves, the whisper of spring. Inside their warm house, Mio and Lucky stood at the mirror, fumbling with something, their tails twitching with determination. The problem? Lucky was trying to fit into a dress, a gift from Mio. Mio's gown was perfect. A flowing soft pink with golden embroidery, a delicate headpiece, and veil. It was special, sewn by her fashion designer grandma for occasions just like today. Naturally, Mio wanted her sister to have one too. The matching deep green gown was supposed to be Lucky's, but there was just one little issue, or a not so little issue. Lucky was bigger, not in a bad way, just bigger. No amount of twisting, tucking, or squeezing was going to change that. She didn't mind it, of course. From the moment she stepped into this house, she knew she belonged no matter her size. She'd already gone through one name change, from Minnie to Lucky. She wasn't about to let a dress decide her fate now. Still, that didn't stop Mio from yanking the dress this way and that, trying her best to make it work. And then, zing zing. It is March 20th, 12 p.m. It is food time, Alexa chimed, signaling the arrival of a holiday feast. The chef served a special meal. Treats shaped like the sun, the half moon, and twinkling stars. Beside their plates, fresh cat grass had been placed with care, symbolizing the new start of spring. As they nibbled, a little cloud floated above Lucky's head, quiet thoughts full of possibility. She imagined colors, soft fabrics, and the fashion designer grandma's portrait on the wall. She glanced at Mio, who was happily munching away, and noted with amusement that even the perfectly fitting gown was straining at the seams. Maybe this house was the perfect place for Lucky to discover something new after all. Lucky also planted seeds in her beautiful mind at just the right season. The rest was to water them patiently until the colors of fireflies shone under her gentle touch. And with that, March melted into warm memories. Zzz, zzz, click, clack, whir. Mio's midday nap was interrupted by a familiar sound. Her ears twitched. That noise, clicking, humming, whirring, sent a rush of excitement through her as she darted toward it. Was it a dream, or was that the sound of the sewing machine? Could it be? Mio wondered, and quickly ran in the direction of the sound. The sewing machine was alive, stitching away, threads swirling, knitting yarn and tools scattered around. But it wasn't Mio's human grandma. It was Lucky. With a month of dedication, Lucky had learned the techniques of stitching. It took one big effort to haul the sewing machine out of the storage room and dust it off. And that was it. Now, seated at the machine, she was adding extra fabric to Mio's gift to make it fit just right. Mio's eyes narrowed. Roused from her nap, the last threads of her dream didn't match her first guess. Her small, protesty streak woke up too. Lucky's warm smile was enough for Mio to soften her expression. Without any hesitation, Mio leaned in and whispered,
Welcome home, Lucky.
Now fully awake, Mio's eyes caught something unusual right behind the backyard windows. Outside, the big tree swayed, waving a thick branch as if calling to her. The knot between her eyebrows eased. Mio padded closer, nose pressed to the glass. Something caught her attention. There, Under the tree, newly grown leaves formed a big bushy curtain. The leaves swayed left, then right, opening like stage curtains. And then they appeared, two fireflies. Mio's voice rang through the house, her excitement halting every sound. Lucky's sewing machine, the quiet afternoon hum, even the ticking clock.
Alexa, what's today's date?
It is April 28th. Alexa winked her flashlights.
It's firefly time.